applied the base to my face, which is my regular foundation. I didn't do anything different. And then I'm going to apply the base to my eyes as well. And I'm using basically browns, dark browns and light browns, but I'm going to take this orangey shade, transition shade, and I'm going to run that into my crease. And just basically how I normally do it, I'm just going to apply that to my crease, blend it out, and then these brushes are actually from Sigma, the ones with the pink handle. They come in a 3-piece set, and for October, they're supporting breast cancer awareness, and 20% goes towards that. So there will be a link in the description box. So I'm going to take a dark brown matte color, and I'm applying that to the inner and outer corner of my eye, and then also really taking that deep into the inner corner and up, like kind of almost like a mad face. So I wanted it to be like the whole look to be like dark browns and kind of like a bronzy look. So I applied a bronzy colored base to the center of my eye to make it really pop. And then I also applied that to the inner corner of my eye. And I wanted the center of the eyes to really pop. So I applied a bronze color on, I actually pointed to the wrong color in this palette. It's the one on top, but a bronze shadow on top of that. And then I went in with a lighter shimmery color just in the center, just to make that really pop in the center. And then the bottom, so it's basically like a regular smoky eye. The bottom is just the dark brown, and then I'm going to take a lighter brown and I'm just going to blend all of that out underneath. So it's basically just a regular smoky eye, and then just going really dark in the inner corner. And then I also added that color that I used in the center of my eye. I added it to my brow bone. I really wanted to make that shimmery too. And then after, I kind of started going in with the dark brown that I originally used from the first palette, and I kind of carved out that around my eye. And I didn't want to do it completely, and it kind of makes me nervous doing these around like the skulls around the eyes, because it can look like a Dalmatian to me really fast, so it kind of makes me nervous during this part. But I kind of just did it darker around the edges and then blended it out inward towards the center of my eye. And then I took a bronzy color highlighter, one that's obviously wouldn't be like a real highlighter on me, and I went over the whole entire thing because I really wanted it to be shimmery. You can't really tell on camera, but in person it looked really nice because it was like really shimmery. And then I took a concealer and I kind of cleaned up around those lines to make them kind of sharper, and also it doubled as a highlight around it as well. And then after that, I started shading around the circles and the lines that I had made. I think it really comes together once you start shading around everything. And then I moved on to my forehead, and I'm basically using just the two colors that I showed in the beginning, the dark brown from the first palette and the lighter brown from the second palette. That's all the only shadows I'm using. I really didn't want to leave too much of my face bare without anything, so I try to cover up most of it, but try to cover up most of it without using as much detail, so it's kind of easier to recreate. So I kind of just did like little lines and then blended it inward, and leaving the center kind of really light in the center. So it's just basically darker on the outer edges, and then I'm just going lighter once I get to the center, but trying to leave that space free of any like dark shadows. And then again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a darker highlighter and a lighter highlighter and basically do the same thing I did like with my eyes. I went around the whole entire thing with the darker highlighter, and then in the centers, I went with the really light highlighter, which again, on camera, it doesn't give it justice, because in person it looked really good. I really liked how it looked after I added the highlighter to it. Once I got to the cheeks, I really had no plan of what I was going to do. I was kind of just working with it. I was literally just filling my face for like a bone that was sticking out, and then any hollows of my face. I was kind of just going with it and just really trying to feel like my actual face, like where is the bone sticking out, and should I do it darker in the hollows, and where is it at? And I kept going like back and forth, jumping around, because I was just, I don't know, going with the flow, I guess. So I ended up doing it, and again, the same colors I used, I just ended up where I felt any hollows on my face, I did it a little bit darker, and then right under the bone where it was sticking out, I just did it dark as well too, and then I kind of just blended as I went with the darker brown and the lighter brown. And then I also did the same thing, I added a little bit of highlight, darker highlight around it, and then lighter highlight in the center. I'll try to have everything that I used listed in the description box below if you want to check that out. And then moving on to the nose, I for some reason really like doing skull noses. I don't know why, I just feel like it brings the look together. And again, I basically did the same thing. I just used the darker brown and the lighter brown and kind of just did squiggly lines, and then I added a little bit of the highlighter to the nose as well. So basically the same thing. So now to the mouth. On the bottom lip, I actually kind of put foundation over that to cancel that out. And then on the top, I just wanted like a bronzy lip just for the top lip. And then I wanted this to be, I didn't want to do the teeth this time around. I wanted it to be a really like easier look. Like anybody can do this because it's just straight lines. It's not really drawing in the actual teeth. It's a lot faster. It's a lot easier. And I never actually did a skull with just the regular lines instead of doing the actual teeth, so I really wanted to do that with this look. And first I did it with an eyeliner white pen, but then it wasn't as vivid enough, like the color wasn't as bright enough, so I went in with a white concealer and then just went over that with a eyeliner brush. And I kind of did it, I wasn't trying to make straight lines, I kind of wanted to do like squiggly lines and then kind of blend them out towards the edges. And then I knew since this was kind of like a lighter skull look, I wanted to incorporate like white lines throughout the face area. So I just added, like where the little highlights were, I just added some more of that white concealer, just randomly white lines everywhere. And I should have did like little cracks, but I forgot.